Good morning, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? I have a late massage, so I am doing this now. All right. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. So, biggest problem with week 1 in the NFL is changes. You got Caleb, you got Daniels, you got Bo Nix, you got Cousins on Atlanta, you got Aaron Rodgers playing. You've got a Minnesota Giant game where you got Sam Darnold against Daniel Jones. I mean, you got a lot of crap. So we have to be what's the word? Clever. I have to be clever. So, like, I'm looking at the Baylor Utah game. So I'm looking at Baylor, but I'm looking at how Tarleton State was able to move the ball on them. What kind of defense do they have? Otherwise, Cam Rising will eat it apart. So I'm really digging to try to figure out some of the unknown games. Let's quickly look at gold, 24.96. We got 24.99. Back up there, we'll be back over 25. Notice the 10 o'clock, we are not getting the derivative drop. It's happening here at 2 o'clock in the morning, which I guess is Europe. Not sure why they're doing the derivative. I assume it's London instead of, because the U.S. is tired of losing money. Silver 28.23, still a bargain. You can't look at it, when's it going up, and it's not going to go up. And we know the reasons why it's going to go up. So we just know it's price fixed, know it's going to go up, and just keep buying at this stage. Very, very simple. All right. Let's go to the line. So we'll do NFL first. All right. So our problem week one is all the changes. How do we bet Atlanta? How do we bet uh, Chicago? Do we just bet it under because we know Caleb will go 3 of 15 with 2 interceptions and no touchdowns? Do we take Tennessee plus the 9.5, 10 points? Do we stick with Mahomes and Burrow? Although Chase is still not signed, I imagine today's Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. They play Sunday. I would imagine Saturday night Chase will sign, and if not, Joe Burrow still has other receivers. I'm not really worried about that. I do have one lock in college, one lock in pro. I have about 5 games in pro already posted. You can get classes would be. I mean, we could do a class. We could do a class Friday night and then Sunday morning to go through all the games and all that. I am playing both Thursday and Friday's games. I have an appointment tonight. We could do a late class tonight. Anybody interested on my Monday night, 9 o'clock, we'll be on Zoom. My friend in LA said, no problem if you want more people. It's his class, and again, I'm teaching really how to pick the games and the basic fundamentals, bankroll money, how to win, how much to bet, quit a winner, versus a regular YouTube class where we're just walking through the games. KC's playing Baltimore. Here's the line. Here's my pick. Here's why. And I'll give you a score. We'll talk injuries and all that stuff. Sort of like we did in my regular class and this class last year where I'd go through the games. But not this year. So really that's the hard part week one. And it's harder in college. Like Utah plays Baylor, and I'm like struggling going, well, I know how good Utah is. I don't know how good Baylor is. Baylor beat Tarleton. So is Baylor good? Is it an over game? I know what Cam Rising's going to do. And is it it's not an under. It's either an over or I take Utah. And so I got to really study Baylor hard to really see what I got. I got notes. So when I go through my Gray Sports Almanac, which I like to call it, when I go through the teams, I write notes on my spreadsheet. So I got a spreadsheet of every team, every conference. I put little notes like, they got the coach from, Indiana's got the James Madison coach, or this team got this quarterback from Georgia. There's a team that got the Georgia third string quarterback. He transferred out. So it's not like he's nobody. He's got to be good to get recruited by Georgia. I think it's Ratzloff or something like that. So in the first week, I need that. So the first week I'm going through and I can pick based on that, and I ignore the Division II games. Here it's hard because everybody played Division II game. Not everybody, but a lot. Utah didn't. They played Division I. And so you just try to, hope the line drops a little bit and I get a better line. And we'll see. But that's the struggle I have this week. So college will be cooked probably tonight. I'll probably start posting tomorrow. There's no hurry. First game's Friday, BYU, SMU, and Duke Northwestern, and that's it. And then all the other games are Saturday. So we will see. Got to check the injuries. I do have a nice lock. And I gave you a game yesterday, Northern Illinois over Notre Dame, getting 34 points is a joke. Hi, Greg and John. I'm okay. Why'd you lie? You said you took Florida State. So what are you playing games for? We don't want games here. We want the truth. We want honesty, professionalism. I don't want you to say I took Florida State and you didn't take them. Why say it? Don't talk the talk, and especially don't lie. I don't tolerate that here. So I don't want your picks because it's going to confuse people. What if somebody was watching and they saw Florida State and they bet it? I tried to cut it off by saying Oogly or Boogly is terrible, which we all know. And they got killed. So I don't want your picks. I don't need them. I'm the picker, not you. And I don't want a liar. So don't tell me you're betting the team that you didn't. Right? I don't care what you bet, but don't tell me you bet and then say, oh, I really didn't bet. I don't want to hear that. Don't do it again. You made me change my mind. Well, you said I bet them. I says, you're crazy. Now, if you'd listen to the class, you'd know how I talked about Oogly Boogly all year, last year, this year, and what I said against Georgia Tech. So I don't want to hear that anymore. All right, I got work to do. So the free pick is Northern Illinois getting 34 from Notre Dame. That's your pick. Now let's go through the lines. All right. So Thursday night, this is NFL first. We got KC -3, 46.5, 47 to Baltimore. We got Lamar against Mahomes. Now, all we know is last year's stats. They both had 17 defensive stats. They give up 17. When I say defense, it's they gave up 17 points a game. Philadelphia, Friday night in Brazil, 2.5, 48.5. To Green Bay. I'll tell you what, I'll give you my line after. We'll compare. Let me just go through the line. 2.5, 48.5. We got the Bears 4, 4.5, 45 to Tennessee. They keep fucking around with this. It was 4, then it went to 3.5. Now it's back to 4. What are they fucking around with? 45 over under. Caleb against Levis. Friday night is Love against Hurts. Houston, 2.5, 3, 48.5 to Indy. We got Stroud against Richardson. We got Buffalo, 6.5, 48 to Arizona. We got Murray against Allen. Buffalo with an 18 defense last year. Arizona with a 27. Cincinnati, 7.5, 40.5. That line's moved down because they don't have Chase yet. And 40.5 against New England. Brissett against Burrow. New England with the 22 defense doesn't count. They don't have Belichick, and 23 for Cincinnati. Atlanta, 3.5, 42 to Pittsburgh. We got Russell Wilson against, I guess, Kirk Cousins. Pittsburgh with a 19 defense. Atlanta with a 22. New Orleans, 4 and 42 to Carolina. Young against Carr. New Orleans with a 19 defense. Carolina with a 25 defense. Miami, 3.5, 49 to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence against Tagliabue, 22 defense for Jacksonville, although I don't know who it was. Just a second. Hello? Hello?
Hi, Howard. It's Lynn.
Yeah.
Hey, would it mess you up if we moved you back to 4:30?
No, that's fine.
I just they fixed my air conditioning this past week, and something's wrong with it, and we can't get here till around 4 o'clock. And it's not running right, so.
No problem. I'm in the middle of a class, so yeah, no problem. I'll see you at 4:30.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Getting a deep massage tonight. I was a massage lady. That's why I took it. I apologize. So we will. It's going to be at 4. That's why I'm doing it now. The class. Hey, Real D. Real D. I asked the guy I do the Zoom with. He said it's fine if you want to join in. I can send you the link. Send me your email. And it's Monday at 9. He's in California. That's why it's that, because it's 6 o'clock for him. But he says no problem. So if you want to join that class, give me your email. It's on teaserking.com, and just go to the homepage. You'll see it. $25, and that's going to be different than the YouTube. Well, I guess I can go over the games there too, but YouTube, we're actually just going to do what I'm doing now, going through the games and then making picks. So there's going to be like 2 different classes. So you can join that one. He said fine, or just we'll make one. It'll be Friday night and Sunday morning for the NFL, Friday night and Saturday morning for college. And if we need to do a quick Wednesday for like tonight's game or tomorrow's game and Friday's game, we can do a 10-minute class on that. So anyway, nice to see you. And we're just going through week 1 NFL right now. So Miami 3.5, 49. Lawrence against Tag, 22 defense, Jacksonville 23, Miami. Minnesota 1.5, 41 to the Giants. Darnell against Jones. What a joke this game is. Minnesota had a 21 defense, but a lot depends on the quarterback. If you drive the ball down the field, the defense can rest. Darnell and Jones are going to be 3 and outs. 24 defense for the Giants. Again, 41.5, the over under. Seattle 6, 41.5, 42. To Denver. Seattle's favored. Bo Nix against Geno Smith. Both teams had a 24 defense. I took out that Miami 70-point game. So they're both a 24. I would say the next time Denver plays Miami, they're going to kick the shit out of them. So we'll see. Nix and Esteen, the Notre Dame running back. I think Denver's going to be pretty good this year. I don't know why everybody's so down on Nix. What the hell did he do? He was fantastic. San Diego 3, 40.5 to Oakland. We've got Minshew against Herbert. Oakland with the 20 defense will be better this year. San Diego with the 23 defense will be much better this year. San Diego doesn't have receivers. Herbert will be good. It'll be all, they're going to play Michigan football. They're going to run it and go nowhere against Oakland. You got Max Crosby licking his chops, and you got Brock Bowers now on Oakland with shoes. So Oakland could be really good because they got the defense. Cleveland 2.5, 41 to Dallas. Prescott against, I guess, Thompson Robinson. I don't think Watson's even going to play. I don't know. He's been really head problems there. Mental problems, I mean. Dallas with the 19 defense. Cleveland with the 21. It's Micah Parsons against Myles Garrett. It's going to be those 2 dominating play, I would think. Tampa Bay 3.5, 43.5. Down from 4 to Washington. We got Daniels against the Baker. Washington's problem, the 31 defense, didn't get any better. Tampa Bay with a 19. So we will see if Washington's an over team or a Z team. I think Daniels will be okay. You never know. And then the defense probably blows. We will see. We'll see how good Dallas and Philly end up. They got to play them twice each. The Giants, they can probably beat with Daniels. Detroit, 3.5, 51 to the Rams. Stafford against Goff. LA with the 22 defense. Detroit with the 30. And that will be their Achilles heel. People are talking about the Lions in the Super Bowl. They're out of their fucking minds. I'll bet anybody you want them they won't be in the Super Bowl. Jesus Christ, what an easy bet. They're not going to beat the Rams. They can't beat the Niners or Seattle or Dallas or whoever, Green Bay. Green Bay will win the division. The way they looked against Dallas and Frisco in the playoffs. And the Bears won't be very good with Caleb, and Minnesota doesn't have a quarterback. So look for Green Bay. And the Monday night game, the Niners 4.5, 44 to the Jets's. Rodgers against Purdy. Jets with the 21, Frisco with an 18. Teaser trends. These teams are good in teasers overall. Minnesota, Tampa, the Rams, Oakland, Kansas City, San Diego, and Seattle. The ones you play against, just bet against them and win, is Seattle, who plays obviously close games. Kansas City, the same thing. San Diego, Arizona, Washington, and Carolina are really bad. Philly and Atlanta. So how can San Diego be a good team and a good team to play against? Because they play close games. You're looking at a 12-point swing. So if they're -7, -1, they win, but +13, the other team wins because they play every game 3-4 points. Well, that was with the bad coach last year. So let's go into my line. So I have Kansas City -3. I don't do over-unders usually, not this early, maybe later on. I have KC -3 over Baltimore. I got Green Bay 3 points over Philly. I got Atlanta 3 over Pitt. I got Buffalo 7 over Arizona. I got the Bears 3 over Tennessee. Cincinnati 10 over New England, and hopefully Chase will play. I think at the end of the day, Burrow will get him out there. You don't want to miss time. You don't want to not get paid. You got a small window, when you get hurt and your career's over. So if you can play, get out there, Chase. I got Houston 3 over Indy, Miami 4 over Jacksonville, New Orleans 7 over Carolina, the Giants 3 over Minnesota, San Diego 3 over Oakland, Seattle 3 over Denver, Cleveland 7 over Dallas, Tampa Bay 3 over Washington, Detroit 3 over the Rams, and the Niners 7 over the Jets's. That's my lines, which are much better than the Vegas lines. I'm getting to what I think will happen in the game. They're getting to what makes the betting even. So the biggest discrepancy is Cincinnati. I got -10, but with Chase. So we'll hope Chase signs. But if not, I'm not. They got receivers. They're prepared, and it's Joe Burrow. New Orleans 7 over Carolina. Carolina sucks. They didn't do anything that Bryce Young is going to get anything that all of a sudden he's going to see the light and know how to read a defense. He's terrible. And then Dallas 7, Dak Prescott's terrible, but I don't have a quarterback. Maybe it's Thompson Robinson for Cleveland. We got to see, but they're going to hand the ball to Chubb and play Myles Garrett defense. So let's just say I'll be surprised if Dallas wins that game, but you never know. And the Niners over the Jets. The Niners, that'll be an interesting game. The Jets could win the game, I think. With Rodgers in the defense, we'll see how good the defense is for the Niners. Texan versus Colts game got me very nervous. Why are you nervous? I mean, Stroud's not any good, and neither is Richardson. They're both terrible quarterbacks. I don't see it. Let's see. So we've got teaser trends. Baltimore 7-1 is a road dog. We can use because their coach and quarterback have to be there again. The Packers 8-0 is a road dog. Last year, you had Love in the coach. Buffalo, small home favorite. New England, it's a Belichick trend. They were a good road dog. Jacksonville 11-1 is a road dog. New Orleans play against Carolina 17-0 last year. Minnesota 5-0 is a road dog, but that was with Kirk Cousins. Oakland 6-1 is a road dog. Again, they didn't have Minshew or Brock Bowers. San Diego 29-5 overall play against, but again, now they got Harbaugh quarterback. So this is where the trends get fucked up. Denver, I can't use. Cleveland, nothing. Tampa Bay, 7-1 play. I can't read that. It's play against Washington is what it is. But we can't play. We didn't have Daniels last year or whoever the coach is. Detroit 8-2 is a home favorite. Now, these are in teasers, which is what we bet. So, again, Detroit stay. They same coach, same quarterback. So we will see there. I don't buy Detroit as this great team. Based on what? Based on a weak schedule last year. They're now this great team. Really? Who'd you beat? Oh, yeah, you beat. Oh, yeah, no, you didn't beat Baltimore. No, you lost to Green Bay, Chicago, Seattle. You lost to a weak Dallas team. Playoffs, you beat a decent Ram team. Tampa Bay, who sucked. And then you played the Niners, who kind of weren't that good last year. So you didn't really beat anybody. You really had a soft schedule. So everybody thinks, oh, well, look how good they are. They won these games, against high school teams. I mean, that's like saying Baylor beat Tarleton State Saturday. Look how good Baylor looks. Look at Ole Miss. They won 77-0 over Lehigh or Lafayette. Don't they look great? Who'd they play? They played a high school team. Right? So it doesn't really help you if you play a shit team and you win. That doesn't mean it's not like look how good they are. Well, that's what the Lions are doing. They played a very soft schedule, and they won, and then they still lost to the Packers and the Bears. How do you lose to the Bears? So then losing to Dallas when they needed it, and then they got lucky. Dallas and Philly fell apart in the playoffs, and they got the 2 seed basically. And then they go to the Niners, and they don't know how to win. See, they blew it. They blew a 17-point lead, and the coach had his hep his ass. Tells me they don't know how to win. We're aggressive. Well, does that mean you won? No. Isn't that the object of the game is to win? You didn't win. So you can cry all you want. I'm aggressive and I did it, and this is what I've always done this year, and look at what we did, and we beat Carolina and Atlanta. Aren't we the best team in the league? So I'm not buying any of that crap. I saw you lose to Baltimore 34-3. That's the real team. So you need to win a game like that. You open with the Rams. You need to win that game. But then you got the Niners and you got Dallas. You need to win those games. Kansas City won on the road and beat Buffalo and Baltimore in the playoffs, and then San Francisco. Detroit couldn't do any of that. So how are they this great team? You don't fall for this bullshit fanfare and everything. Real D. How many rookie quarterbacks actually win in week one? Well, how many are playing? I doubt Caleb will win. Daniels, we'll have to see. And Bo Nix, I think Bo Nix has a good chance because Seattle doesn't have a good defense. We will see. Penix could win if they play him. They're going to play Cousins. Huge mistake. What is it about Cousins that everybody thinks he's so good? Since when? What has he done that makes him so good? The playoff loss to the Giants 2 years ago when they had Danny DeVito at quarterback. He's always been a choke, just like Jared Goff's a choke, right? He shows up until the game's on the line. Like 2 years ago, the Lions could have made the playoffs, and they played Carolina, and Jared Goff didn't show up, and he lost. And that's his MO. He did it at Cal. He was in the championship game against Utah, and they got 5 picks on him, and Utah killed him. Then he gets into the Super Bowl against New England, 3 points. You score 30 points a game, you get in against New England, and you can't figure out Belichick. And then you got the playoffs the following couple of years. You're so bad that Sean McVay let you go for Stafford. And now you're on a no-stress team with the Lions. There's no expectations. They lose every year, and you kind of stumble into where now, by mistake, they got to the championship game. They should have lost in the first round had they, the Rams should have beat them, but Dallas and Philly, where did they go? So you've got to be careful. You've got to be able to analyze, or at least listen to my analysis on what the truth is, what's real, not all this hype and all this bullshit. That's the problem with it. So all the hype on Caleb. Why are the Bears favored in the game? What has Caleb done? Nothing. His first game. What do you think he's going to do in his first game? 3 picks. He'll think it's Notre Dame or UCLA. Hey, Mia. You want to talk to me? Okay. Not now, though. So how many... so why is Caleb favored? Okay, Tennessee's got a new coach. Will Levis sucks. I mean, but you can't listen to all the hype. He wasn't anything last year. They only won 4 or 5 games in the Pac-10. So he's gonna win 12 games in the NFL. Come on, that's ridiculous. So this is what you gotta really make up your mind and understand and analyze and going, he ain't that good. Well, why is he that good? And yeah, he's got receivers, but he's not going to have time to throw to him. He can't read the defense, so they're going to blitz him. He'll probably get sacked 5 times, or he'll run around and then throw the ball out of bounds or something. I mean, I don't know. Or he'll try to force it in, and he'll throw a good 3 interceptions, I think. But he's not that good. At what point does he look good? What is that based on? The Lincoln Riley phony offense that all the quarterbacks look good in college? Except Spencer Rattler couldn't do it. Is their defense good? I guess their defense is good. They got the receivers. Maybe. I don't like that you're thinking the Washington rookie's going to do anything. Come on. He's got C.J. Moore he's going to throw it to, and then he's got the kid from San Diego, Keenan Allen. But Keenan Allen is the number 1 receiver on a team. That's what Herbert would go to. You think there's going to be that connection where Caleb's going to hit Keenan Allen? No, he'll probably. I mean, you don't need two receivers like this. And then you add another one when you needed defense, you needed running. Not going to be a good sight. Real D, Tom Brady expressed that on podcast. He thinks NFL don't give players enough to develop their game. You agree with his statement? Well, that's what I'm saying exactly. Well, I fully agree. I mean, look at Mahomes, had a whole year to develop. Aaron Rodgers had 3 years to develop. You've got to get used to the game. It's like anything. You start dating a new girl. The first night, you're okay with her. You know what she wants and what to do. No, you got to learn the girl. You get a new job. You got to learn the job. So you're going from college to the pros. Brady couldn't do it. Peyton Manning couldn't do it. It took Joe Montana a while to do it. Marino was the exception. He kind of, his rookie year, he caught on, and then he went down from there. You've got to get used to the speed of the game. You've got to learn how to read a defense, and they're going to bluff you. You're going to get a read that you think they're going to blitz, and then they back out, or they don't, and then they blitz you. You've got to learn all that, and you didn't learn it in Lincoln Riley's offense. And not only him, Bo Nix, Penix, all these guys. Penix has the best opportunity where he can watch Kirk Cousins and learn from his mistakes. And after 6 or 7 games, you could probably get Penix in, or before Cousins gets hurt. Cousins never learned. He's terrible. RG3, they just put him in. Look what happened to him. CJ Stroud, I mean, he's really weak. Richardson, what does he do? They play him right away, and he hurts his shoulder. It still bothers him. He played 4 games. What is he doing running the ball? You're not supposed. You're the quarterback. You can't run the ball and take contact, because if you get hurt, we can't replace the quarterback as easy as we can replace the running backs and the receivers. And there's many running backs. There's only 1 or 2 good quarterbacks. So I agree, Real D. They need to. They need to watch, at least, I would say, really probably the whole first year. Maybe near the end, like Brady came in week 10 or 11, whatever. But even he came in and he didn't know what he was doing until, they near the end, and then he got him in the Super Bowl somehow with that bullshit on the Oakland game. And then they didn't really trust him, but he threw the nice pass. So this is the problem with that. But I totally agree. There's no way any of these rookies, even the rookie running backs and defensive players, aren't ready. None of them are ready. It takes time. In other words, when you go from high school to college, you're 18 playing against 18-year-olds, and you're a stud. Oh, Oogly Boogly was supposed to be this great quarterback, but he couldn't adjust to now he's playing with 24-year-olds, not 18-year-olds, and he couldn't adjust to it. He never could adjust to it. His skill set was limited to high school. He gets into college, you don't know what he's doing. He's terrible, as we see. And that's what you see is jumping from college to the pros. The pros are the cream of the cream, supposedly the cream of the cream. So in college, you're playing. This is the problem with the Alabama and Ohio State quarterbacks. They play systems where Alabama has these fast wide receivers. most college teams don't have 3, 4 good secondary guys, except for like LSU. So he goes back and he plays, Louisiana Monroe, and if he throws for 400 yards because they don't have 4 good secondary guys. And his guys going fat, and these guys are wide open. Oh, look how good Tagliabue is, or look how good Jalen Hurts is, or whatever. But when you get into the pros, all the cornerbacks and safeties are just as fast as your receivers, so you don't get the same look. And you've got to get used to it. Look, okay, who is that guy from Alabama? What, Jalen Smith or whatever on Philadelphia? How good he looked in college. He doesn't look like that in the pros because he doesn't get wide open in the pros. These guys will knock you down and hit you, and you're not going to be, you're not going to be wide open like you are in college. And oh, look how good he is. Yeah, because he's wide open because of the way the scheme was at Alabama. So he looked a lot better than he is. That's why they never pan out. And Tagliabue, he wants to play Arizona State. You can't handle Buffalo and Baltimore and the Jets defense. There's no way he can handle that. So this is the problem. You got to realize the system in college. That's why I don't like Alabama, Ohio State quarterbacks. And that's why I like Cam Rising, because he doesn't really have that bullshit system. It's more of a pro offense. Tennessee, they run a pretty much a pro offense. And that's why I'm so high on Hooker, because what he did to Alabama, I mean, that's incredible. That's the point. So anyway, yeah, I agree, Real D. They need to be in. They need at least I would say 8 to 10 weeks of watching and getting used. How come in the preseason they're not playing with the first team receivers? Caleb didn't play with the first team receivers. He should have played every game, at least a half, with his first string receivers. Oh, they don't want to get hurt. So he's supposed to come into week 1 with no practice, off a bye, because everybody had the bye last week. So he's got no experience in a game throwing to his 2 receivers, right? And he's supposed to what? Light it up? He couldn't do it at USC. See, I'm taking you to games with good defenses, Notre Dame, UCLA, Utah, Oregon, where he did nothing. And that's my point. And what you're going to get here, even though Tennessee's got a new coach, believe me, they know how to call blitzes at Tennessee, I would assume. I don't think they're that bad. Maybe Carolina he could beat. That'd be about the only team, Carolina, New England, that he could probably beat. That would be it, I would think. Otherwise, I don't get why they think he's so good. Anyway, so week 1's a challenge. Now, we can stick with Mahomes and Burrow, even without Chase, but how do you play the rookies? I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. We'll see. I mean, Bo Nix could have a good game. We'll see, because Seattle's got such a bad defense. And they don't have Coach Pete. So I don't know this coach is an offensive coach. I think he'll be there a year or 2, and then he'll get fired because he doesn't know what he's doing. They're all good quarterback coaches. Greg and John, quit vampiring now. This is class. All right, so that's the pros. So we start tomorrow. KC Baltimore should be a real good game. I've got my pick for it, and I played the Friday game also. And so I got both those games played. And then I got 8 or 9 games on Sunday. This should be a big week. I feel pretty comfortable with them. I stayed away from a few of the rookies, but, that would be it. And it's all risk and reward. The bet's 11 to win to to make 10, right? So you bet 110 to win 100 on a 2-team teaser. So it doesn't matter. I mean, if you take Kansas City or you take the Lions or you take Washington or Denver, it's all the same odds for the same payout. So you're looking for less risk for the same reward. So that's critical. Real D, would you agree the Chiefs is NFL darling, right? I don't know about that. I think everybody loves Lamar. I think it's Baltimore. And I think now it's Caleb. I think Caleb's darling and Lamar's the darling. They all want Lamar to win, but he's never going to win. He doesn't know how to pass. He gets into a big game. Kansas City, they just dominated him. They don't let him run. They blitz him, and he can't read it. So that's why was Lamar the MVP over Mahomes last year? What are you kidding me? Wow. I think they need to do that after the Super Bowl. I mean, it's clear Mahomes is the best player. I think they're tired of Taylor Swift and Kelsey. I am. I mean, I don't even like Taylor Swift. I don't find her attractive at all. I think she looks kind of fat. Of course, I like the Russian girls. If she changed her name to Natalia, I might like her. But I don't know that it's KC or Taylor Swift. And then I think it's Baltimore and Caleb right now are the darlings of the league. All right, let's get into college. We have Friday games, probably because the NFL is on Thursday. College has moved to Friday. So we got SMU 10.5, 56.5. And we got Northwestern 3, 36.5. On Friday, those two games. So if we look at it, I haven't had a chance to put my own lines in yet. I probably won't this week because I've already studied these lines. SMU, good quarterback, pretty explosive team. BYU, I'm trying to study. They put up 600-700 yards on some high school team. Quarterback looked okay. How much do you analyze the high school game, or what can you find about the high school game? So how do I know? I'm investigating BYU. How do I know who they are and what they are? I have my little notes on my spreadsheet. They're not supposed to be that good, but I don't think it's the same quarterback. They changed quarterbacks from my Gray Sports Almanac that, it gives you, it gives you the starting quarterback that they believe from spring practice. Then all of a sudden you look and I write them down and then I see, well, he didn't, it wasn't Jones, it was Smith. Like, what the fuck? So this is what I'm struggling with this week is I know I like SMU a lot. How good's BYU? Over under is 55. Do I go over with the game? SMU should score. They had a big game with the fucking Nevada. It was 29-20. It was a 53 with Nevada. BYU looks like they should score. Oh, no, there's over under. Yeah, 56. I mean, so you think BYU, does SMU have this great defense? I don't think. Does BYU have this great defense? I have no idea. They played Tarleton. What can you make out of, Brother Rice High School? So this is where it's kind of frustrating. It's so early. I don't know the team, and with all the transfers and new coaches, makes it very difficult to categorize. Now my spreadsheet has little comments for the quarterback, new coaches, and then I can see the quarterback, what he did, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, sack a couple times, how many yards he threw for, and then I can pick up the running of the team and get the total yards. That's why I got Northern Illinois. So your free pick here is Northern Illinois, which we'll get to. 700 total yards last week for fucking Northern Illinois, and they ran the ball down their throat. And I know Notre Dame is, I don't know how good they are. I think they can run the ball, They have a good defense, but I don't think their defense is ready for this offense. I mean, A&M does not have a defense, so I don't think no. And I get, but really it's the point spread, right? I would have figured 14, 17 points. Northern Illinois is not that. 28 points is an over assumption of this game. This is simply Vegas going, well, everybody's going to bet Notre Dame. They beat A&M. Instead of making it 20, we'll go 28 because everybody will still bet Notre Dame. And that's not how I view it. I look at that offense and going, there's no way Notre Dame's winning this game. So to lay the 28 means you think they're going to win 47-0, right? Because they're going to score much more than 28 and give up nothing. And that's just not going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Northern Illinois wins the game. I really wouldn't. But let's say they don't. Notre Dame kicks a field goal at the end to win. There ain't no way they're winning by 34 points. There's no fucking way. That's just not happening. So I will give you one free game. Like everybody assumes I gave Fresno State, but it was not a free pick. It was just my synopsis that Mikey Keene's a good quarterback, which he is. So your pick, Northern Illinois, getting the 34, could win the game, but probably won't. But I just don't see Notre Dame got up for A&M. Okay, they're at home, and Jesus will be there, and all the Pope and all the Catholics will be there. But I just see if you can put up 700 yards and a lot of it's running and passing, it was like 300 each. How are you going to defend them? They're going to score. They're too explosive with 700 yards to do that. So that's how I look at it. I think they're a very explosive team. They'll find 20 points, which means I got 34, means that's 55. Is Notre Dame going to get 55 on me with Riley Leonard and they don't really have receivers? I just doubt it. I think they'll run the ball. The only way to really win big is to run the ball and take the air out of it, which maybe they will, but I don't think they're that smart. But anyway, so that's the one game. So that's Friday. Cincinnati is 263 over Pittsburgh. Wow, this was 59. This really jumped. Now, part of the reason is Pitt put up a big number against Kent State, and Cincinnati put up a big number against, and you can name it, high school team. So, again, that's not realistic. I don't know who these teams are at. I can't tell by Cincinnati playing a high school team. Pitt gives me a little bit against Kent State, who's a Z team, but okay, what does that mean? I don't know. Now, we'll get a better, clearer understanding after this game. I can take Pitt in 8 since he wins by 20. Oh, I fucked up. I can go over. It's 63, but they're really not that good. Cincinnati played a high school team, so, against a good team like Pitt, they're not. So I don't know. This is a game that I need more information on. I don't want to rush and force a game. This is why week 1 and week 2 are difficult. Now, if this game is week 6, I can maybe, Pitt and 8 was the lock, but I didn't know it at the time. So I can only go what I got. So at this point, leaving it alone. Kansas State 10 and 48.5 to Tulane. Line really hasn't moved. Good game. Tulane was undefeated last year. Kansas State always is good. They lost their quarterback, Howard. How good's the replacement? Tulane lost their quarterback. How good's their replacement? So this is a good game. Game's in Tulane, so we'll see. How's their new coach? Coach moved on to Willie Fritz, went to Houston and got killed by Vegas. So we'll see how the new coaches and new quarterbacks are. And it's just like the NFL. I have no idea at this point. I got Oak State 7.5, 62.5 to Arkansas. Both teams like to run it. I got Ollie Gordon at Oak State. Arkansas, I don't know, they ran for a ton last week against high school team A. So you really don't know. Bowman had trouble, the quarterback from Oak State, in these type of games last year. So very difficult to just, my thought is just take Ollie Gordon -1. He'll win you the game, but I don't know enough about Arkansas. Texas, 7.5, 42.5 to Coach Bo and the Michigan Wolverines. Texas killed, what was it last week? They killed Colorado State, who's pretty bad. And everybody's overreacting. I swear, this whole news sports thing, they overreact. And I'm so tired of the little interviews during the game. Oh, Charlie, how did that feel to score that touchdown? It felt great. I scored a touchdown. Like, how do you think it felt? Like, what kind of stupid questions are these? So I think this line's extremely high. I don't buy it at all. Hard to make Michigan a home dog, even against Ohio State. They're very rarely the home dog, unless it's a real strong Ohio State team. Is Texas's defense that good? Is Michigan okay? Their quarterback sucked. They ran it okay. They didn't score a lot against Fresno State, but their defense looked very good against Fresno State. How good's Texas defense? Don't know. They played Colorado State. This is an interesting game. I don't like the line. I had Michigan -3. Maybe you got Texas -3, but to me, this is like a Texas-Oklahoma game. And I don't buy the 7.5. I think it's too much. Over under 44. Ewers is good. Is he better than Mikey Keene? I don't think so. Even though Mikey Keene's at Fresno State, he's a very good quarterback, Mikey Keene. If he doesn't throw that pick six at the 10-yard line, it's 20-17. He did throw it. Should have pump faked it. But that shows me Michigan's defense is going to be hard to score on them. So I learned the defense is real. I don't know about their offense. It looked like shit. Texas, I don't know how good their defense is. Their offense with Ewers. What happened in the Washington game last year, boys? So this will be a good game. This is on at noon, big noon. I don't know. I think it's either like take Michigan in 13 or look at the total on the game. I honestly don't. I would not trust Texas to go into Michigan and win as the favorite. No, I don't think they're that good, Texas. This isn't Georgia. Georgia, yes. Alabama, maybe. Ohio State, yes. Oregon, I don't know. They looked a little sloppy, but okay. Utah, yes. If this is Utah laying 7.5 to Michigan with Cam Rising, I'm taking Utah. I don't know about Texas. This we need to watch and learn. I don't think Texas is that good. I think Michigan's kind of weaker this year, but their defense looked mighty strong against Mikey Keene. Georgia Tech, 2.5, 61 to Syracuse. And again, that's not a pick. I'm analyzing the game. Doesn't mean I'm picking one way or the other on Texas, Michigan. I'm just telling you, I'm breaking it down for you. You guys want to, I'm betting that. Your free picks, Northern Illinois, Notre Dame. All right. Georgia Tech, we saw what they did to Florida State. A lot of it's Ooglia Booglia sucks. We saw what Ooglia Booglia did to BC. He sucks. Here you get Syracuse. Now, how good Syracuse? They beat a good Ohio team by 10 at home. The Ohio State quarterback, I guess, looked good. I didn't see the game. Had some decent stats against Ohio. Now you got Georgia Tech, a very good offensive team, good quarterback, well coached. Syracuse got a coach and this McCord who choked in the big games for Ohio State, a.k.a. Michigan. So I don't know what. I would have loved Syracuse to be favored at home, and I would have jumped on Georgia Tech heavy. Anytime you get Georgia Tech as a dog, you're taking them. I don't know that I like Syracuse as a dog here. I don't want to bet against Georgia Tech. I mean, there's certain teams you don't want to bet against. Georgia, Utah, Ohio State, Alabama, most of the time, unless they're playing Georgia. And we'll see. Oregon, maybe we'll see how they play this week. But so just be careful there. Penn State, Bowling Green, Penn State, 34.5, 48. Penn State looked really good. Now, the key about Penn State that you must realize is they've got a new offensive coordinator, the guy from Kansas. And we know how good Kansas's offense has been the last 2 or 3 years. So that's really the point is how good is their offense got a lot better. Their defense looked good. I thought West Virginia was going to win the game or at least make it a close game. They just killed them. West Virginia's got a much better offense than Bowling Green. 34 is a little high. Over under 48. What do you do with it? So you got an A team in Penn State. They can score and they play defense. So it's hard to go over under with Penn State. Unless it's a Ohio State or a team with a strong. If they play Georgia, it'd probably be an under. You're not going to score. So can the other team stop them? Well, I don't think Bowling Green can stop them. It's a big number, 34, and I don't know about the 48 over under. Rutgers and Akron. Rutgers 23-39 to Akron. Rutgers strong running game, strong defense. Akron got killed by Ohio State. Not very good. The quarterback was injured. Don't know if he's playing. So we will see. You're looking at Rutgers, but can they handle 23 points? They run the ball a lot. We'll see. Memphis, 18.5, 57.5 against Troy. Troy's terrible. Memphis usually scores a lot, usually very good at home. We'll see. Florida Atlantic against Miami. Florida Atlantic is 4, 3.5, 4. 43 to Miami. Normally, I like Army here as the dog against these type of teams. Florida Atlantic played Michigan State 16-10, I believe. Yeah. So they have a good defense. They look like, or Michigan State has a terrible offense, which I don't like their quarterback, Childs. He was just one of these athletes that was a freshman at Oregon State last year, didn't play much. Now you see why. That's why they had to go to Uglia Buglia. You can't get these athletes and think they're good quarterbacks. This is the problem. Well, he can run and no. We need a quarterback. We need somebody who can throw the ball to the receivers. So I don't know. Army looked pretty good last week. They ran it for 380 yards. So we'll see what happens in this one. Auburn, 13, 53.5 to Cal. Cal didn't look too good last week. Auburn put up a big number against a high school team. So we don't know what we have yet. Louisville, 28-58 to Jacksonville State, the Rich Rodriguez team. They got killed by Coastal Carolina, and Louisville put up a big number against a high school team. So could be the same. Washington, 24.5, 47.5. Wow, this was 28. But the 47.5 stayed. 24 Eastern, pretty good defense. Beat UMass, not a high school team, but the next best thing. And Washington, I don't know. A new coach, new quarterback. We'll have to see. Notre Dame, as I said, 28, 44.5 to Northern Illinois. And you're putting up 700 yards. You're scoring something. All right. I think if we get 14, they need 50 to beat us. And I don't think Northern Illinois' defense is all that bad. So I think that spread's way too high. Iowa, 2.5, 35 to Iowa State. Always a close game. Big rivalry game there. Iowa State's pretty good. Iowa, they're all excited that they scored points, but against a high school team. Kentucky, 10, 42.5 to South Carolina. South Carolina sucked last week. Kentucky's, they're the one with the Georgia quarterback, pets off or something like that. So I'm sure he's good. It'll take him a few games to get used to it. You can't just go into the system, which is what I was telling Real D about the pro quarterbacks. You can't just go from USC to the Bears and think you're going to light it up. It ain't going to happen. The Navy, 12.5, 43 to Temple. Navy looked pretty good. Temple really blows, probably a Z team. Navy, we'll see. It's hard when these teams run as much as they do, they got to really get you rolling and just keep running it down your throat. You can't do anything. That's how they score a lot. Temple is terrible. My Utah, 14.5 and 54.5 to Baylor. A little bit went from 53 to 54. We know Cam Rising, Utah with a great defense. The question is, who's Baylor? They beat a bad team. Put up a big number. How good is their quarterback? Who's their coach? Are they going to be able to keep up with Utah? Are they going to be able to move on this defense? So it's either Baylor's going to score with Utah, and then it's an over, or they can't, and then we bet Utah, and that's where I'm trying to figure out. Maryland, 9-44 over Michigan State. Michigan State looked terrible last week against Florida Atlantic. Decent defense, I think. Is it a good defense or Florida Atlantic's offense sucked? Maryland, they're not that good. They beat a weak team. Living and learning. Toledo, 20-51 over UMass. UMass is the Z team that we all know and love. No defense. Toledo, not bad. The quarterback is, I think he might be the Baylor quarterback, Finn. Pretty good option quarterback, but he's not at Toledo anymore. He's moved on, so hard to say. Again, we've got to learn. And when they play these Division II teams, we don't learn shit. They win 60. Mississippi won 77-0. You're going to go bet them to win the national title because they beat, Southfield Lathrop High School. North Carolina, 22-46.5 to Charlotte. Charlotte's terrible, probably a Z team. North Carolina looked like shit against Minnesota. The quarterback got hurt. Is he playing? And the backup looked like shit. So can they even score 22 points? Good question. Texas State won in 64.5 to UTSA. UTSA struggled with Tennessee State. Texas State has a good quarterback. We will have to see. Ole Miss, 41.5, 63 to Middle Tennessee. This number seems very high. They don't have the defense to really be giving 40 points out. Like normally it's Alabama and they shut you out, or it's Georgia and they shut you out, or maybe Texas or Oklahoma. Now Mississippi's an offensive team, so Middle Tennessee will probably look to run the ball. I don't know. I would not take Ole Miss in this game, but I don't know enough about Middle Tennessee. They could be a very live dog at 47, or if they can score, then it'll definitely go over. UMass, Ole Miss will score a lot. VTech, 20.5, 52, up from 50. This going up. Marshall had a good game against the high school team. Virginia Tech lost to Vanderbilt, who I think is very good, with Daggio Pavia, my quarterback. don't know what to do here. I know this could be a high scoring game. Vanderbilt lit them up, and Virginia Tech can score. Marshall, they score, so we'll see. Old D against East Carolina. East Carolina 2.5, 55. Up from 53. Old D's not much of a scoring team. East Car, I don't know why they're favored. They both these teams suck, so not much to say. South Alabama 2.5, 56 to Ohio. Now I did some research on South Alabama. I wanted to see what happened with the North Texas game. And Major Applewhite is the coach, who is a quarterback at Texas. So he's one of these offensive coaches that can light you up. Ohio didn't really score much. Very interesting game here. Where North Texas lights you up, and that should have been my lock week 1, the over in that game. But now I realize it's Major Applewhite, so look for South Alabama to score early and often. And the question is, what is Ohio going to do? So we've got to get these MAC teams. Central Michigan 6.5, 51.5 to Florida International. Florida International is not good. Central lit up somebody. They put 66 on a high school team. They're a road favorite, which bothers me. And got to go to Florida. Seem to have a pretty good offense. I don't know what Florida International is yet. So I got to go through that research. And all I have are these box scores against Division II high school teams, which makes it really hard to do. That's the problem. Like superficially, Central's probably a good play here, but to go to Florida and win is not easy, and Central's not that good, and you need usually a good defense to win on the road. Sam Houston and UCF. UCF 22, 57.5 to Sam Houston. Sam Houston scored a lot last week. Last year they didn't score at all. So Sam Houston, good scoring team. UCF minus the 22. Okay. I thought I had a pita bread, and I realized now I'm going to make tuna and have it. So UCF 22-58. They scored 100 points last week against a high school team, and it was all running. They ran it down their throat. Jefferson, Bobby's favorite quarterback from Arkansas, is now at UCF, and they're really just running a little bit of passing. Sam Houston did score, so we will see here what to do with it. Air Force 6.5, 46 to San Jose State. Air Force is always a good team, usually a good defense. How good's their quarterback? San Jose State's got a new coach. They got the Navy coach, I think. He's either there or San Diego State, one of the two. So we will see. They're not that strong, San Jose State. Air Force normally strong, but we have to see it. New quarterback. Wake 257 to Virginia. I have no idea. The over-under shot from 54 to 57. I don't know. I have to research these teams. UAB 13-53.5. UAB, very explosive team from what I saw. Lou Monroe usually is a Z team. So we will see. This is where if Lou Monroe really sucks, they're not going to score for you, so you can't go over. But then you take UAB because they're laying 7, and they're just gonna score, and Lou Monroe won't be able to do anything. So I've got to research that. Arkansas State 7.5, 65.5 to Tulsa. Tulsa put up a big number against a high school team. Arkansas State, I think, scored a lot too. Not sure. Got to research that. Georgia Southern 157.5 to Nevada. We know Nevada's playing better. They played SMU pretty good and they won at Troy, so they're not as bad. Georgia Southern, they're the ones that played the 56-45 game with Boise. So keep an eye on that. Where am I? So Georgia Southern, good offense, not much defense. What is Nevada? They put up 24 on SMU, and SMU put up 29 on them. So they played the quarterback's kind of weak for Nevada. So they basically kept the ball away from SMU, and they got the turnover. They did score. I don't know. Yeah, they probably can get 24 in Georgia Southern. It doesn't look like they have a great defense. So we will see. Louisiana Lafayette, my team, 15-47.5 to Kennesaw State, which we have no idea. All we know is last week they lost to UTSA 28-16. Do they have a good defense? We don't know. UTSA has a new quarterback. They're trying to adjust. Lou Lafayette played a high school team last week. So again, after this week, we'll have a better feel for these teams, the ones that played all these Division I games. And that's what Vegas is really trying to do to you, is try to get you to overcommit to teams that played high school games last week, and you think that's the team. Ole Miss. Why is Ole Miss laying 41? Because they beat a high school team 77-0? Please. So that's what Vegas is trying to do. Good game here. Kansas, 5.5, 56 to Illinois. Real good game. Kansas, outstanding. Really good team all over. Illinois, don't know. They were real good 2 years ago. Last year, they sucked. This year, it's all up to Humpty Dumpty. The quarterback looks okay. We'll have to see. But Kansas, I like a lot. They're a good team. Alabama's back, 31 over and 64 to USF, South Florida. South Florida is supposedly a very high-scoring team, as Western Kentucky was supposed to be. Western Kentucky got shut out 63-0, and South Florida, where we think will score, I'm not sure they'll score. And I like how they set the over-under at the 63 that they scored last week. Okay, that's what we get to go on. They'll score 63 every week. So again, you don't want to bet against Alabama. Do you lay 25? If you lay 25, you think it's going to be like last week where South Florida won't score. If you think South Florida can play them, then it's an easy over. So I don't know. I don't know Alabama. I mean, to shut out Western Kentucky is very good. So we know Alabama's going to score. And it was mostly running the ball. And then it was trick plays where Milrose, 85-yard touchdown pass, 90-yard touchdown pass, 60-yard touchdown. So they probably ran it, play action. All the defense came up to stop the run. He just looped it. The guy runs 80 yards, so it's not like Milrose did anything. So this is what we'll have to see. I know Alabama's going to score with their coach, so we'll have to see about that. Could be an Alabama play, could be an over. What do we think South Florida is going to do? Missouri, 34.5, 51 to Buffalo. Missouri, outstanding team. Great quarterback, Brady Cook. Lost their running back. He was a free agent to the Niners. Now he's a Ram. Big mistake by the Niners. That guy is very good, although they have McCafferty. But this Strader is very good. So Missouri, look for them to score a lot. The question is, this could be an over at 51. The question is, what's Buffalo going to do for us? Can Buffalo get us 20 points? If they can get us 20 points, Missouri's going to get you 50 or 40. So we need 51. So could be an overplay. We gotta research Buffalo. Ohio State and Western. Ohio State 38-54 to Western. Western, where are they? They lost to Wisconsin 28-14. Now, Wisconsin's not the explosive team. Give them credit for putting up 14 on Wisconsin. They had a 32 defense last year. It looks like it's a 28. Looks like a 32 this year. Ohio State will score early and often on them. Over under a 54. What does Western give us? They have a decent quarterback. Are they going to put up? All you're asking for, if they can put up 14, Ohio State will do all the heavy lifting and get you over. So that's the struggle in these games is what will they be able to score? Akron, I told you they'd be shut out. And my score in that game was 70-0, and they won 52-6. And that was against Akron. Now, Western's better team than Akron. So we'll have to see. Again, it's like the Alabama game. What is Western going to give us? Either they're going to get blown out. We might want to lay 32, or they're going to give them a little bit of a game, and we might want to go over. If we think they're going to score, we got to go over. Tennessee, NC State. Tennessee 7.5, 61 to NC State. NC State's pretty good. Tennessee, we saw, put up 100 against the high school team. Now, Tennessee's got an offensive coach, so they're going to score a lot. NC State, not a bad team. I think the line's about right. Tennessee 7.5 to 16.5, I think would go over. Tennessee's not like Alabama in the fact they don't have that great defense. That's why Tennessee never wins it all, because they don't have the defense. Hence, who wins it all? Georgia, great defense. Alabama, great defense. Ohio State, great defense. So even Michigan last year, who I hate, great defense. I don't hate them, but I think it was unfair. They played nobody, and they get rewarded by getting in the playoff. When you exclude Georgia, Florida State, and Oregon for Michigan, you're out of your fucking minds. All right. Nebraska, 7-59, up from 57 against Colorado. Nebraska looks really good. I think their defense will get better with Matt Rule. And this Raiola was a Georgia recruit, and he didn't start, so he cried and ran back to Nebraska. But he's a good quarterback if Georgia recruited him. So he's good. Colorado, we know their weak point, no defense. And they're going to be in trouble against a strong defense. Oregon 44, Colorado 6. They had trouble against Utah, and they had trouble against UCLA. This is the problem with Colorado. Yeah, Prime Junior is okay, except when he plays a defense like this. He's going to be in trouble, and they're not going to score. And then add to that, they don't have a defense. I mean, North Dakota State puts up 31-28 last week. North Dakota State's putting up 28 on you, and Nebraska's going to put up more than 28. I don't know what Colorado's going to do against this defense, though. It's going to be big trouble for Prime Junior here. Oklahoma 29-49 to Houston. Houston sucked. Vegas killed them. They didn't get 100 yards in the game. Oklahoma, I don't know how good they are. I don't really love their quarterback. Maybe I got to watch their game. Is it all running? We will see. I don't really like their coach. He's in over his head. 49, it's hard because Houston's probably not going to give you any points. So it's all Oklahoma. So tough game there. Maybe you go, I don't know. I can't take Houston. They got killed by UNLV, who's not a strong defensive team. Clemson 17-53 to App State. I told you my thoughts yesterday. I'll repeat them. So Clemson, they're just not as good as they used to be. I don't like Kubiak. They got killed by my Georgia team, which See, you got to look at it and understand they played Georgia. They're not going to look like a good offensive team. Right? That's clear. So, with that said, pardon me while I pour my water. So, we've got App State, who's a very good. I like Joey Aguilar, the quarterback of App State. Very good. He's back again. Klubiak, I just don't know. I just don't see this Clemson offense. They were kind of a fake offense. With Trevor Lawrence, he would run a lot. He couldn't throw. I remember the Ohio State quarter games. He was like 10 of 25 for 100 yards, but he ran a lot on Ohio State because Ohio State made the mistake of spying him instead of blitzing him. In the pros, Trevor Lawrence gets blitzed a lot, and he doesn't know what to do with it. But he wants to run. He's not a quarterback. App State, Aguilar will put up points on Clemson. They'll watch the Georgia game and see what Georgia did to score. They're a very good team, very good coached. Can they get the W? I wouldn't be surprised because App State does this, like North Dakota State. They play that Division I game and they pull the upset. And I think App State's going to give Clemson more than what they want. I think they're a live dog here. I don't know about over under. Clemson, I don't think has much of an offense. So I think you're much better with App State if you get the balls to go against Clemson at home after getting killed. Clemson will be on fire for getting killed by Georgia. But how high do you get against App State? And App State, App State to me is like they're like Kansas. They're a strong offensive team with a decent defense. They just are in the Sun Belt and they're App State, but they're just maybe they're like Penn State. Good, I don't know how good the defense is, but they're changed the name and that's App State. So they're going to give Clemson all they want. Oregon, 19.5, 61 to Boise. Boise, they got like 300 yards from a running back. They ran for 399. They got 690 yards of offense last week against Georgia Southern, not a high school team. 56-45 against that. Here comes Oregon. We know how explosive they are. I think they're a very live dog, Boise here. I don't know. We got to see. Oregon was disappointing last week. They didn't. They won 27-10 against nobody. Gabriel's a good quarterback. Oregon's very tough at home, but I think Boise's got. When you can run the ball the way Boise, see, if you got a really good running team, you're a live dog because against a good passing team, all I got to do is blitz you, and you can't even throw the ball to the receivers, right? Look at Caleb. When they blitzed him last year, Notre Dame, UCLA, he didn't do anything. And they didn't have a running attack. So it's just tee off and let's blitz the quarterback. But when you can run, what are you going to do? You put 11 guys on the line of scrimmage to stop the run, and they'll still run it right down your throats. So you have that good running back, and they apparently have this great running back. I'd say Gordon's better, but I haven't seen the Boise guy. But if you got a guy running for 399 yards, he's probably going to – or no, he ran for like 300, I think. Good luck there. That's a lot of points for Oregon to lay. Although they're at home and they will score. And Boise didn't have a defense, so we will see. Washington State, Texas Tech, 2 high-scoring teams. Washington State, 2, and 65.5, 66. This should be a high-scoring game. Texas Tech, when have they had a defense? And Washington State, they put up a 70 last week against a high school team. This is the problem. You don't know how they're going to do against the real team. You know how they did against the high school team, which really fucks you up because you think, they scored 70 points on, Brother Rice. It's a high school in Detroit. What are they going to do here? And you don't know, although Texas Tech normally scores a lot too. This has the makings of what should be a high scoring game, but you never know. Liberty 22-56 to New Mexico State. Liberty is an A team. New Mexico State was a really good team last year. Daggio Pavia goes to Vanderbilt. They're winning games, but the replacement, New Mexico State, will never be as strong. So Liberty, the A team. I like their quarterback Solder. They should be tough to beat here. Oregon State, San Diego State. Oregon State 5.5, 55 against San Diego State. Oregon State, I don't know, new coach, new quarterback. San Diego State switch. They might have the Navy quarterback. He either went to San Diego State or San Jose State. I got to check it because I know the Michigan coach is not coaching San Diego State anymore, and I think that Oregon State or San Diego State is supposed to be a little more explosive. So we got to watch. Arizona State and Old Mississippi State. Arizona State 6.5, 60. They put up a big number last week. So did Old Mississippi State. Again, high school teams. We will see, but Arizona State looks a lot better than they did last year. Again, against the high school team. So this is a good game to watch and learn to see are they both explosive teams, or is it just they played a high school team and they beat them up and then come down to reality against the decent team. USC 28.5, 63 to Utah State. Who's USC? I don't know. Where was the explosive offense? At the end of the day, though, he did a lot more passing than right. When you look at the box score, he passed a lot more than he ran. So he kind of adjusted against LSU a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, he'll still be, let's throw the ball all over the place. Utah State should be a good offensive team. And we'll see the USC defensive coordinator, how good he is to that, because, he looked a little good, early, but LSU had a new quarterback and they were all getting used to it. That's why you got to get it down. That's why Caleb's not going to just come out and do it. You've got to get used to your receivers and your timing and just the speed of the game and the defense. You can't just go out there. But I thought Newsberger looked better, but it wasn't his first game either. But I thought he looked better in the second half. But I don't know. Did USC, is their defensive coordinator all that? We need to watch that a little. We want a weak defense. We want to bet USC over, but we can't do it if they have a strong defense. And if they have a strong defense, then we want to bet USC. Lane 28, I don't know with this defense. That's college. So your one play, take Northern Illinois in 34, a team that got 700 yards of total offense against the high school team. But still, that's impressive, 700 yards. Ole Miss got 700 yards. A couple teams got 600. Against Notre Dame, we didn't do anything against A&M. They won it at the end on a field goal? What was the score? It was 23-13. So not a lot of pretty good defense. But if A&M got 13 on them, I'm confident Northern Illinois will get 20 on them. Then I got 34 plus the 20s, 54, and I just don't see Notre Dame lighting up Northern Illinois. Maybe they will. I don't think Northern Illinois' defense is that bad, but again, I don't know because I don't have I should look at last year's, what their defense was. That's why I keep my stats, so I can look at last year's. Let's see if I have last year's. Handy dandy. I think I have most of my economics out. Here we go. Okay. college football, Northern Illinois. Were they in a bowl game? No, let's go to week 13, Northern Illinois. Come on. Here we go. They were a 20 defense last year. So pretty good defense. So now I like it even more, the 34. So Northern Illinois, not a bad defensive team last year. So the system will be there. I don't think they have a new coach. So we're looking at that. Anyway, so that's it. I'll give you the play. Northern Illinois plus 34 against Notre Dame. I have a lot going. And I have a few others that I will play. I might play another lock as I stumble into, as I stumble into the details. The box scores I got to be careful of because of the high school games. So I know because I study it so hard, I know what the real games were last week. Notre Dame A&M, Michigan, Fresno State. It's all the high school games, and that's what I've got to be careful. Ole Miss is going to kill, Middle Tennessee, and are they? Again, against the high school team, they put up 77, but Middle Tennessee's a real team. They're a Division I team. So that's what you're looking at, and then if you think Middle Tennessee has an offense, then it becomes an over. And that's how we go between a team or the over. Ohio State, are we going to go minus 32? Are we going to go Western and 44? Are we going to go over or under? This is what you're looking at. We made a mistake with Arizona last week. We thought New Mexico doesn't have an offense. They had a good offense. Well, if we knew that, we knew Arizona was going to, we didn't know they'd score 60. We knew they'd put up 50. That's why I made the over 22 bet. So I kind of got screwed on the extra points there, but the point of it is if we know the team can score and they don't have the other team doesn't have a great defense. The Ohio State's problem is they got a great defense, Penn State. So you're either looking to play Ohio State or, you got to be careful with the over-under because, the other team's not going to score. Alabama, they're 64 to South Florida. Alabama's going to put up 50. You don't know what South Florida's going to do. Can they score? Western Kentucky couldn't score on them. So because of the defense, it leads you to maybe playing Alabama as opposed to the over. We will see. We don't know what DeBoer is defensively. We saw what he did at Washington. They were okay. Yeah, they killed Western Kentucky. Okay. But now there's film on them, and now we'll see how a team like South Florida reacts to it. They're a pretty good offensive team, South Florida, but in their conference. Now, when you go up against Alabama, all of a sudden, you're just trying to get first downs. All right, so that is college, and that is the NFL. We'll take our look at gold. And it's sticking at 24.96. So we're back close to 2,500. And it's after 10. So we're not getting the U.S. derivatives. I think the U.S. derivatives are happening at 4 in the morning here. Well, 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and then they start going back up. So I think the shift has changed a little bit more European, I think. I think China gets in about 7 p.m. to probably about 2. And then here comes Europe, and they're dumping for the U.S. Geez, really obvious. Keep in mind, nobody is selling gold or silver. That's just not happening. There's no reason to sell your gold and silver. It's about to go to the moon. I was looking at Luke's request. So Luke goes to me and says, "Oh, I hear we're coming out with a gold standard, or they're getting ready." I didn't see anything on YouTube on a gold standard. I saw them try to explain what a gold standard is. I'm not going to waste your time and bore you with these idiots telling you. I will tell you straight up, a gold standard is when you back your dollar by gold. That's it. So if you want to go to the bank with $100, you should be able to go to the bank and say, give me $100 worth of gold for my $100 bill. And then all the bills should be backed by gold. So the value of gold is the value of your dollar. That's the difference. Now the value of you have a $100 bill, there is no value to it. It's worth $1. And that's the problem. The value of the dollars drop because they're not backed by anything. And this is why you need the gold standard, but then they can't print, and all the crooks who are in government want to print and print and print. So they get off the gold standard because you're supposed to back the money with gold. So if I have $1 billion in money, because I have $1 billion in gold. But if you're not letting that happen, if that's not the case, the people go to the bank, they go, I want my gold. Why? I don't have enough gold to give you. Then you fucked up the gold standard, right? And that's why they don't like it, because they want to print for wars, and they want to print because they want to steal the money. So if there's no backed by gold, then JP Morgan can print $1 billion and hand it out to the government. They all put it in their pockets. That's why they don't want gold. But the gold standard is you backing your money by a real value of gold. And that's it. It always has worked. It's always been very successful and been very productive. The most productive time in the world was 1879 to 1914. The whole world was on the gold standard, and the whole productivity went up 5%, the most ever in the history of life. So you don't need to print money. You don't know, well, we're limited with gold. No, you just raise the price of gold, fellas. I mean, that's all you do. But with competition, see, the market controls the prices. With competition, so we go back to Adam Smith and the bakery made the cupcakes, and then the competition came in. The baker across the street sees everybody eating it, so he comes out, he lowers the price to compete. So now you got competition keeping the price down. So you don't need to print more money to grow your economy. No, that's bullshit. The economy grows because of the market, and people selling tangerines and oranges and watermelon. So that's how it is. You don't need more money for that. That's just bullshit. And the money's worthless now. So your money's worthless. Enjoy it while you can. Go buy gold and silver. But outside of that, forget about it. So I don't know if I'll do an econ show today. Maybe, but I got this 4:30, so I'm going to go hit the pool. So I'm going to eat lunch now, go to the pool, leave from the pool to the massage, which she said will be about 2.5 hours. Well, if I'm starting at 4:30, I'll be there to 7. It's one of these painful, like deep rub ones where I'll probably won't be able to walk after it, but we will see. But that's what I'm doing. So anyway, you got your free pick. There you go. Take Northern Illinois and 34 against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Like I said, I have a lock. I have like 8 plays in pros, including a pro lock. I got a college lock and a couple other plays that I can see clearly what I'm going to do. And I got to study, what I'm going to do in the Utah game. What am I going to do in the Alabama game, Ohio State, Missouri? I got to see what to do with those games. Oklahoma, Houston. Houston looks like shit. Texas Tech, Washington State. So I'm not sure. I mean, Texas Tech, Washington looks like an over, but I don't know. I got to see the quarterbacks, the defense. It's really the defenses. If you have weak defenses, but the problem is it doesn't show what happened So that's why I look on my spreadsheet. I kept the last year's grades. So I say if it's an A or Z and over under, and then I graded the offense and defense. By mistake, I didn't delete those. I figured, well, I'll just update them as we go, which is perfect because I can kind of see what's going on. Unless they got a new coach, then I really don't know. Anyway, good luck this weekend. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, and then we'll enjoy Mahomes and Lamar, and may the best man win, which is Mahomes. I mean, we will see, but it should be a very good game. And anyway, so I got, because the NFL, I've been studying for a month. I don't need that time, but I need the time on college. I go through it a few times and I start getting the feel of the games. I first look at, Liberty, New Mexico State, and then I go, oh, wait, Liberty's this, New Mexico, okay. And then I get a feel. Then I can pick a score, and then and that's where I'm at. So I gotta start projecting scores here and go from there. But right now I got to go to my spreadsheet and grade the teams and go. So anyway, have a good Wednesday. Thank you very much. Again, Real D, if anybody wants to join my class Monday nights on Zoom, just let me know and you can join. $25. It's about an hour on just really how do I pick the games and my analysis so you can pick them. And then, or you can join the class on YouTube where I'll go through these games and actually give you my picks. Like I gave you for Northern Illinois, Notre Dame, I'll do that for all my picks. So you know what I'm picking instead of guessing that I bet Fresno State and I never did. All right. You can see the history on my Teaserking, www.teaserking.com. If you want to buy, again, there's pro lock, a college lock, and go from there. All right, everybody, have a good day, and I will see you. I'll see if I'm doing an econ class. I might not. It's Wednesday, but we'll see. Anyway, gold 24.96, headed back towards 2,600. All right, everybody, have a good day. Thank you.